Hi everybody, it's Tatiana, and today I'm coming to do my wrap up for February. I have not recorded a video since I did my review of Bedrock Faith, which was the read along for hashtag Read So Lit this month. After that happened, so many things just went bananas. We had another death, not in the family, but of a kid who used to go to my church, who I used to work with. And so they kind of threw everything out of whack for a couple of weeks because my anxiety issues manifested themselves en masse. And so I did not get as much reading done this month as I would have liked to, certainly not as much as I planned to get done, but it was still a good reading month. I started out the month reading In Calabria by Peter S. Beagle, and I do have a review of that. I received that from NetGalley in exchange for an honest review, and I have a review of that I posted. I will make another playlist for the month of February, even though that playlist is, I think, only 2 videos long. But, yeah, I'll make it because I did it for January, and I kind of like that. So I will post the playlist in the description box below if you want to see the 2 reviews that I did this month. The other book that I read this month was Bedrock Faith by Eric Charles May. This is my own copy because after reading it, I wanted to reread it and own it so that I could make some tabs and possibly some annotations in the book, which I don't do often. But yeah, I wanted my own copy. I really, really enjoyed this. And thank you to everybody who watched that review and really liked it. I really appreciate your feedback and just your support in that. I have been working to improve how I review. For many of you who read constantly and don't have friends who read the same things that you read. Like, I have friends who read, but we don't always read the same kinds of things. And so a lot of times when I talk about books, I don't talk about them having to keep aspects of the plot and things silent or hidden. So I'm used to speaking about books with spoilers all over the place because my friends aren't going to read some of those things, and having to do reviews on BookTube minus spoilers has been an issue, but I'm working on it, and the feedback that I've gotten from the review for Bedrock Faith has been extremely encouraging, so thank you all so much. I also read Bloodchild and Other Stories by Octavia E. Butler. This was the short story collection that I focused on reading during the week, and I really, really enjoyed these. There are a couple of essays in here as well that one essay in particular I think would benefit a lot of first-time writers to read and take seriously, because I'm not a writer, but I dare say the things that are shared in that essay would still be prevalent and beneficial today for writers who are looking to step into the fiction field, and especially with all of the technological advances that have taken place when she wrote that essay. There's so much that is at hand to be able to access as far as information goes when researching and all of that. Really enjoyed this. If I had to pick 2 that stood out the most to me, it would be Speech Sounds and the second to the last one, which I'm spacing on the name of, Amnesty. Whoa, both of those. But I thoroughly enjoyed this, and which is not surprising for an Octavia Butler read. You all know, who've been subscribed to me for a while, she is my literary shero. I am obsessed with her, and so yeah, thoroughly enjoyed those. I really liked Bloodchild. It was very weird, and I enjoyed also what this book has. Is it has, every story has an afterword behind it to give you, in Octavia's words, what she, or the reason behind her writing the story, what she meant in writing the stories. And I love that because I'm also an Octavia Butler theorist when it comes to reading her work. So to get what she meant for it to be, or what where she wasn't attempting to go with the story, and to take what I got from it and where I thought she was going, and to be able to compare the two, apple on the cake. Or cherry on the sundae. I don't know. Then I started Daughters by Paul Marshall, and when I started reading this is kind of when things hit the fan, and I actually also started reading this after a book that I ended up DNFing. I DNF'd my cousin's book. So I struggled a little bit getting into this, coming off of a DNF book that it was coming off of a DNF book. And then when shit hit the fan, I just couldn't get into it. And so I stopped reading it instead of attempting to continue doing so and then not enjoying the book because of what I was dealing with. I thought that would be doing the book a disservice in doing that. So instead, I did pick up an audiobook on Overdrive. I listened to The Bane Chronicles, and Magnus Bane is one of my favorite characters in the Mortal Instruments series. And there are a whole bunch of narrators for the audiobook. There's a different narrator for every story in the audiobook, but the three writers are Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. I cannot believe I remembered that. But still evidence that with everything that was going on, I did not enjoy the stories as much as I expected to. I did enjoy seeing the characters that we don't get in the series, but whose descendants are in the series. Seeing some of those characters in Magnus's interactions with them, as well as some of the in-between events that take place between the stories in the Mortal Instruments series and the Infernal Devices series. And I still have to finish the Mortal Instruments series. I have one book left. I'm waiting for it on audiobook. And lastly, what I decided to do instead of not reading anything, because I did a lot of coloring this month, but instead of not reading anything, I had volumes 2 through 6 of Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. I don't even know if you can see that. Okay, I know you can see it on this side because Stitch can be seen. But volumes 2 through 6 of Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. And so I read this, and I have finished the series. And now I'm glad that I got them from the library. I will be doing a review of the series, but I will say after reading all 6, I don't know if I actually want to own all 6 at this point, or I'll talk more about that in my review of this, which I will be recording right after I finish this video. So that's everything that I read in the month of February. Since I did not finish Daughters, I will be finishing that in the month of March. That is the only thing on my TBR for the month of March. At this point, we'll see what happens as March goes along. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more. And have a good weekend, whenever you see this video. Peace out.